was always showered with love and attention at school. And just thoroughly enjoyed that. So now that I'm 47 years old and thinking about love languages, relationships, how I like to be spoken to, how I like to be treated, all of those things they're like major. They're very important to me. And it all just started with one person who loved me for who I am, not wanting anything from me, not expecting anything from me, and just loving me for just being who I am and noticing me. Often when you're young, you're not noticed, right? Children, like women, should be seen and not heard. But in that moment, I was seen, heard, and felt by someone who was absolutely gorgeous and stunning, and that meant the world to me, and I'm still kind of unpacking that right now, because I'm really not sure why I'm unpacking that right now, but I know that it was significant enough for me to want to do a post on it. There's a lot going on in the world right now as it relates to communication, love, responsibility, being our authentic selves, being in right relationships, first with ourselves, actually first with your creator, second with yourself, and then with those who are around you. Also, us becoming collectively aware and conscious of the shift that's happening in the world, the suffering and the sorrow that's happening in the world. And it's really interesting because I don't think I've ever really thought about how I want to be loved or how I want to be spoken to, not as much as I did until the interview that I had with A.J. Throwback. I mean, I had been thinking about it in the context of work, right? Because I find work very challenging as the person who is the unicorn, the one who is different, the one who is an introvert, the one who is quiet, the one who pours into people, the person that people kind of watch and stare at, the person that people stop and will just tell me their whole lives, right? Work is a very interesting place for me. One day I will work in a place and in a space that is quiet, reflexive, where I have an office, where, I am adequately paid for my services and my time, where I am valued, where I am respected, where I'm not interrupted, where when I'm doing something, I love to see these birds in these trees. I don't know what kind of birds these are, but I just love them. So beautiful. How are you? How is it going? You're so gorgeous. And there you go. Being in a space where when I'm talking to somebody or when I'm doing something, you don't bother me. One day I will be in relationships, work relationships, and just, relationships in general, where I think I've already said this, where I'm not interrupted. To give you an example, at work, when we are on our breaks, people don't bother us at all. They don't send out emails, they don't send out texts, they don't come to us and give us the messages that they would want us to have. It isn't until I'm in class where people just show up and start asking me a billion questions, and that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because it's like we had a 30-minute break. If you really wanted to talk to me, that would have been the best time to talk to me. Why are you interrupting me in the middle of a lesson, right? After having been in a meeting where you're talking about how we need to get our student test scores up, and then you follow that up with interrupting my class every 5 seconds. We had a break. The students are eating and doing whatever it is that they're doing, and I'm doing whatever it is that I'm doing. usually minding my business, reflecting, praying, meditating, writing, journaling, taking deep breaths, visualizing the love I need, the love I so deserve in my life, requesting that of myself first before I'm requesting it of someone else, And, I don't mind, hey, I don't mind you interrupting me, nicely and saying, hey, Miss B, I realize this is your break time. Can I ask you, may I have your class? We have a competition, next week or this week, and I would like to get in some practice time with them. Do you mind? I mind people not picking up after themselves. That's ridiculous. Right? That's ridiculous. We need to pick up after ourselves. This world was given to us as a gift from the Almighty, and this is how we treat it. Global warming is real. People need to get it together. Coming in and just saying, hey, Miss B, I know you're relaxing right now. I would just like to, just a few moments of your time, to ask you if I could have this class for this period of time. You know what I would say? No problem. But coming into my class, asking me for a student, or asking me if you could have a certain student, that's inappropriate. And it's a waste of time, right? And I also realize that I'm dealing with people who don't know how to love themselves. They don't love themselves. They don't like themselves. They don't respect themselves. They can't respect other people, which led me to not asking people to do something because they may not have it in them and they may not know how to give it. Asking somebody to love you without understanding that they may not love themselves. Asking people for something that they don't have doesn't make sense. Like asking for someone to be respectful or reflexive or considerate when they just don't have it, right? Right? And so I'm glad all of these things are coming up with how do I like to be loved and how I like to be spoken to, and realizing those moments in my life when someone loved me in a way that I may not have recognized then, but I realize it and recognize it now. And yeah, I love having a past, especially one filled with different activities and different experiences, so that I can reflect. This is another beautiful scene behind me. This is the Corniche. I used to live over here, and the saddest thing is I never used to come over here to relax or unwind or any of those things. And I just find that really interesting, that when I had to leave this place, I realized that I left the place where I had the water and these beautiful trees and this beautiful breeze, right? You really don't miss something until it's gone. Seriously. Once I got to the other location, I had to remind myself, girl, you left all of this. Right? I left this. This is what I left. So interesting. I left this beautiful scenery, beautiful skyline, the breeze. This right here is actually, this is a museum of butterflies. So it's no surprise that I see butterflies over here. They probably escaped from over there. They're like, let me go, right? Because butterflies are supposed to be free. We're supposed to be free falling and free flying. We're not supposed to be in captivity, right? But I enjoy having a past, something to look back on, to really, really help me go forward. The whole saying, if you don't know where you come from, you can't really go forward, right? You don't know where you've been, you can't go forward. And so that experience, to be able to really think back on that experience, as she was dying, she was giving someone else life, right? I still remember her smile. Hey! I still remember her smile. I still remember her laugh. I still remember how beautiful she looked. Even even though she was in a hospital room, you know, dying. I remembered that. I love the sounds of birds. Where you going? I'm not going to bother you eating, but you are on candid camera. Yeah, you're on candid camera. Everybody can see your beauty. See how beautiful you are. I see you flying away. It's okay. It's cool being in it. If I were you, I'd fly away too, because I know how destructive humans are. I'd be like, I don't want y'all near me. But like, yeah, my Aunt Dorothy was everything. She still is, right? Still is. That laugh, that smile. She was the kind of person you just love being around her and just being in her presence. You know what I'm saying? She was able to laugh, cry, and just like simply be. Just be. Like, she wasn't one of those people who was always just doing the most or always having to do something. She had that ability to just simply be, right? She would just simply be, and she was married to an amazing man. His name was Uncle Archie. Uncle Archie was hilarious on so many levels. He was just hilarious. He would scare us, the kids, He was always doing something goofy to kind of scare us, And it's really funny because my mom attracted a man that was very similar to my Uncle Archie. My Uncle Archie was a beautiful young man, too. He was shorter than my Aunt Dorothy and darker than her. And he was still very beautiful and very polished and very gentlemanlike and very kind and very personable. And just the two of them together, they were just the life of the party. They were the life of the party. My mother married a young man who was shorter than she was. My father he became darker over time because, my father was like, I'm just out in the sun, like, whatever. He didn't really have, like, colorism issues. And so he was just one of those really cool people, hardworking, very diligent, very personable. My father was an introvert, though. Like, he spent a lot of his time as a pastor. He spent time with other people, But when he spent time with my mom, I have this look on my face because someone's trying to be real funny. End up in a hospital. It won't be funny. Don't judge me by my size. It's the lion inside of me, okay? Yeah, moving on. I guess it's a universal thing where they see a woman by herself, they just feel like they just need to be seen. It's like, nah, bro, you need to be seen away from me, because I'm out here minding my business, not out here for you, and you wouldn't be the catch in the first place. But we gonna leave that to the leaving it. Not that you're not a catch. Somebody would probably want to be with you, but not here. Not here. Have a great day. Be blessed. Yeah, but like, my dad was a quiet kind of person. My mom was more of an extrovert. But the time I had around my Aunt Dorothy was that time was just all of those memories about my Aunt Dorothy were just so important to me. When I think about her, she's very much like my grandmother in many ways. Someone who was loving and kind and giving and had a beautiful smile and would notice things but wouldn't always say things, knew how to lighten the mood. People loved to be around her. It was a joy to be around her. She never wanted anything from you. She never asked anything from you. She was the kind of person that people would give to. People would give to her mostly because of who she was. And I realized that why she was the kind of woman that my uncle would want to marry, but why she was the kind of woman that a lot of men actually liked as well. She was very likable, very lovable, kind of person, had a gorgeous smile, an infectious laugh. As I think about how she used to laugh, just an amazing listener. And like, she is the kind of person that I would love to attract in my life. The friends that I want to have in my life, and the people that I want to be around, even people that I want to employ, like future people for like my company, or future people for projects that I'm working on, because you want to be, many of us ask God for many different things and then wonder why he doesn't give them to us. He doesn't give them to us because we're not around the right people, right? If you, the right thing in the wrong season is still not the right thing, because you'll lose it, right? You'll lose it. And it's not something that's worth having is definitely worth waiting for, whether that's a job opportunity, whether it's a person, whether it's a business idea, or, anything like that. It's important to be able to be patient and to wait. That's why patience is a virtue, because a lot of people just don't know how to wait, right? And what do we do when we're waiting? Like in my waiting season, what I'm doing is praying, writing, journaling, laughing, helping, envisioning, sleeping, resting, encouraging other people. If you ever have get the time to talk to people like A.J.Throwback and anybody that's on any of my YouTube pages or on any of my other social media platforms, I'm always being encouraging and pouring into people. When people get jobs, I'm the first person to say congratulations. If somebody gets married, I'm the first person to say congratulations. I'm never jealous of what God is giving other people, because if he's given that to people that's close to me, I can't even imagine what he'll give to me, right? And so, yeah. Like that's majorly important. I learned how to wait on the Lord and be of good courage. And whoa, they look like they just put this one here. Wow, look at those roots. Or are those roots? I don't know what those are. And look at that plastic. These people need to stop. They need to stop messing up the planet. I don't like it when people don't respect the planet. Oh, they hold on. They planted this one and they planted this one too. It has this thing on it. So either they're planting it or I don't know. I think they just planted it. They could be digging it up. I'm not sure. What's going on, y'all? Y'all talking a lot today. What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? Are you responding to me? Yeah. So, yeah, I learned how to, wait on the Lord and be of great courage and be of good courage by, watching the people like my mom, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa, and the people that are around me. When I travel from country to country and I have to encounter people, I often notice that I had the most amazing childhood in my life. I noticed how much I was loved, how much people cared for me, how much people respected me, how much people were just amazing, and how much I was just around the right people. Because you'd be surprised at what people are doing when they're waiting, right? There are some spaces where people are waiting for a husband, and I'm talking about where I am right here. I'm not talking about you, okay? Like, let's be real. We're not talking about you because I don't know you, okay? I don't know you from a can of paint. But if this is you, I'm pretty sure you're going to be in your feelings. But where I work, there is a young person. I'm older than she is. I look very young, thank God. All praises to the Most High God. I do look young. Mostly it's because I mind my business. I stay out the sun. I stay hydrated. And I'm very helpful. And I'm pretty sure it's all my God vitamins. It's not something that I'm really doing, honestly. I think it's my God vitamins, right? She spends her time complaining. Yeah, she spends a lot of her time complaining about things. And I find that kind of interesting, because if we're asking God for something, or if we're believing God for something, or if we're wanting something, you see me shaking my head because, like I said, out here as a beautiful female who minds my business, people are always following me for some odd reason. As I'm walking this way, someone is walking in the same direction that I'm walking, right? Knowing good and well that he probably should not be doing that. Right. Knowing good and well that he should not be doing that. Moving on. Um, in when you're asking for something or when you're waiting for something, if you're in a space where where you're like arguing, or where you're not being grateful for what you have, or if you're complaining, mumbling, complaining about whatever it is that you're mumbling, complaining about, you're not going to receive whatever it is that you want. It's not going to come to you. It's not coming. Right? It's always good to stay in gratefulness and thankfulness and stay prayerful. Also stay humble, right? Because this is where we get the blessings. I wonder what these are. Oh, these are, okay. So on the ground, I think these are dates that have fallen. Some of them are already rotten. This young man is sitting over here trying to call me over like I'm some prostitute. Is he serious? Wow. Like, wow. Lord have mercy. And people, if you wonder why I'm dressed the way I'm dressed, I dress this way for a particular reason. Right? You kind of have to dress this way. Because otherwise you begin to attract attention. I'm attracting attention I don't even want anyway from just being here minding my business. Right? Interesting. Very, very interesting. Moving on. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. And his behavior specifically makes me think of why there are some women that have negative viewpoints of males. I can't call him a man, because a man would never be in a garden in a place like this trying to solicit me, right? He was literally trying to solicit me. It's like, bro, right? Like, bro, like, nah, right? Where was I? How we wait when we want something is very important. And so this young lady has a desire to be married, but you wouldn't know that from how she's waiting and her behavior and what she's doing and how she's speaking, right? And so I'm very grateful I came out to do this video, even though you're going to get to see some people acting stupid in it. Because, listen, I'm just filming, talking in a garden, minding my business. I wasn't asking for attention. But apparently, in some people's mind, if a woman is by herself minding her business, it means that they should come over and try to solicit her. Okay? And it's like, nah, bro. I'm not someone you can solicit. Okay? Yeah. So, yeah. Despite the chaos, very grateful that I came out here. I got to get inside though. Also got to find myself a bathroom. But yeah, I used to live around here. Look at this. Like, I used to live around here. Yeah, man, all these beautiful trees. This is nice. And I used to live here a long time ago, like back in 2017. I used to live here, live in this area. You got your pharmacies over here. Yeah. So I'm going to end this one how I end everything, even though it's kind of ending abruptly. Wish I could have ended it a little bit better. But go to work on time. Do your job to the best of your ability. Mind your business at all time and go home to the life that you've been blessed with. And remember, if you can do these things, you'll be much better off. Truly. Truly, 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 and truly. Look at these trees. Oh, this background is everything. Come on now, y'all. Look at this background. Look at it, look at it, look at it. Oh. And this breeze is everything. Everything, 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 everything. All right, y'all. Later.